Today I felt like looking at Cariuma. I've been kind of fascinated with their marketing campaign because it's pretty rare that we get to see big money try to just force its way into skateboarding, and Cariuma is a prime example of that. And what they chose to do, how they chose to represent their brand, and which companies they chose to associate themselves with, I think is very interesting. So, like, first thing, I don't know why Mike Vallely's on the team. Does that dude even skate anymore? I haven't seen anything of Mike Vallely in ages. Anyway, they got a couple contest skaters. They got Gustavo Ribeiro, Kelvin Hoffler, Jagger Eaton. Jagger Eaton was actually the first guy that I ever saw wearing Cariumas. Basically, what I'm getting from their team is they're sponsoring a lot of contest skaters. So to me, that speaks to the fact that they're probably looking to market towards kids. So I don't think older skateboarders are really, at least most of the veteran skateboarders I know, are not really turned on by the whole contest scene. Now, outside of their team, but we'll come back. We'll come back to this page because there's this whole thing that kind of ties this together, and the key lies with this gentleman, I believe. Now, if you've been paying attention to anything that the Berrics is doing, you will know that Cariuma is all over the Berrics. Just like fucking a ton of other brands, you know, Cariuma is, I think they're the ones who are paying the Berrics the most because they're painting their rails green and shit like that. So, I mean, the Berrics is nothing like what it was when I was a kid. The Berrics sort of started off as this like tiny warehouse where it was extremely exclusive, and that's why we all thought it was cool. And it was a place where only professional skateboarders would go to hang out and skate. You know, that's what was cool about the Berrics, is that it was exclusive. I mean, it's just a warehouse, just dudes skating, just dudes being dudes. What more could you ask for? That was quality entertainment as far as I was concerned. Pretty significant leap that we've taken since that point. We've got ads all over the place. I mean, what is that? When you've got some kind of drink sponsor next to a minion eyeball, I'd say things have gone off the rails a little bit. Can anybody explain this to me? How much are the minions paying for this kind of shit? Sean Malto even matched his shoes to his minion outfit. Typically, when skateboarding organizations choose to associate with another brand, it's because it has something to do with skateboarding, right? The Minions don't have a goddamn thing to do with skateboarding. Like, the Berrics is essentially Nickelodeon now. Like, this is content for children. Like, and that's what all YouTube kind of boils down to at some point. Like, not all YouTube, but as soon as you start getting the money, I mean, you start realizing that little kids are the most profitable demographic for YouTube videos. So that's what happens here. I mean, there's no two ways about it. The Berrics is selling out. So let's see. For the 10th anniversary of Illumination Entertainment's Minion characters, the studio's partnered with artists worldwide for a series of capsule collections dropping this year. The Berrics exclusive Minion decks is available now in the canteen. Excuse me. They just put a minion on a skateboard. This is it. I mean, look at this thing. What on earth is that abomination? Yeah, of course, you've also got the Minions mural, which is up inside the Berrics. For what reason, I have absolutely no idea. I mean, they're just... The Berrics, this is a billboard space for the highest bidder. And, you know, it wouldn't... Personally, I don't think that most people would take any issue with it where the brand's sort of skateboarding related. But if you got a Minion mural up there, I mean, it's absurd. They even painted a Minion obstacle. Clearly, it's a high price that you're charging for Berrics wall space. It's the only skate company that can afford it is Cariuma, if we're going to call them a skate company, which I suppose they are. They have a team. I'm personally not a big fan. So, first thing Cariuma does when they're launching their marketing campaign, or one of the things that they do is they choose to associate themselves with the Berrics. Okay, what else do they do? So if we just look up on YouTube Cariuma shoes. Okay, we'll get to this one later. I guess they sponsor Garrett Jenner. This is the only mans you should be watching on YouTube. Cariuma review. So, for example, okay, we click on this one. Includes paid promotion. Cariuma Katiba Pro review and skate test. These two things being next to each other, you know that all the information in this video is going to be useless. The whole point of a review is to give your honest opinion about a product. If you are being paid by the company that produces a product, you can't give an honest review on it. You just can't. It's completely contradictory. So I mean, no shade to this guy. He's getting his money up. He's just doing what they asked him to do. Good for him. Them choosing their marketing campaign to like do all these fake reviews and pay skateboarding YouTubers to review their shoes. It's a joke. I mean, and it gets worse. So let's take this for example. Oh, example, huh? Anyway, so the Berrics is, I mean, I don't know at what point this happened. I mean, the Berrics is we are so far gone at this point. I don't know who this dude is, but this guy's this guy's paid to he works for the Berrics, right? This guy does shoe reviews for the Berrics. Wait, I think I'm on the wrong video because the Berrics has one. Yep, here it is, right below it. This dude, not sponsored, eh? I think anybody that saw you in those pants knows you're not sponsored. Those are not sponsored skateboarder pants. Here's let me paint the picture for you, okay? This guy works for the Berrics. The Berrics is paid by Cariuma all over here, and this guy that works for the Berrics uploaded onto the Berrics YouTube channel is supposed to be doing a review of the Cariuma shoe. Now tell me that isn't completely backwards and stupid. It's so disingenuous. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm overreacting to this. I mean, I totally could be overreacting to this, but I hate this YouTuber style format that they use. Like, yo, I'm just a dude reviewing the Kariumas. It's like, no, dude, you're getting paid. The Berrics is getting paid, and Kariuma's paying you guys. So why would I listen to anything that this dude has to say?
On a date with you, if I could get a date. But that's not the point. Yo, truly comment down below. Let me know whether or not you think that these are a cool skate shoe.
I don't. Anyway, they took it a step further, and this is something I really have a hard time wrapping my brain around. Okay, I mean, I think that I've illustrated the point pretty clearly that Kariuma is marketing to kids, right? They sponsor contest skaters. They're buying out walls at the Berrics to do their advertisements, and that's what the Berrics is. It's for kids to watch the videos. It's kids content. This is the good shit right here. This is mind blowing to me. Okay. So you have your regular Cariuma Pros, and these are not, as far as I understand it, these are not different from these shoes. These are the Katiba Pros. They're $89, okay? $90 shoes. However, if you choose, you can pay an additional $30 to have the Berrics logo on the side. Who wants this? Who is paying $30 extra for a fucking Berrics logo? I can't possibly think of a less cool thing to have on the side of my shoe. Like, why would I pay money to associate myself with the Berrics? I assume Steve Berra has his hand in this, because this makes no logical sense, Let's go back to the Cariuma team page, because there's something interesting happening with this guy, Leandre Saunders. So if you don't know, this guy Leandre Saunders, as I didn't know until recently, the only reason I found out about this is because I'm on TikTok and that's how I communicate with the youth. So this guy is pro for Bright skateboards. That's it. Okay. And this is like, I don't even know what to say about this, man. This shit is so cringe. Not available at Zoomies. Dude, super dope. Bringing up Zoomies, this graphic looks like the sort of graphic that would be available in their $30 discount board bin. I thought initially that Bright was Scapegoat, Leandre Saunders. Fuck, sorry, I'm so bad at this shit. Leandre Saunders' company. But here's a video of him walking into the Berrics in his Cariumas, of course. Oh, he's wearing Nikes. What? So this must be older. So maybe the Berrics put him on Kariuma. Maybe that's how that happened. So Steve Berra, I mean, he surprises this dude, and he's pro, and he's really happy. Okay, so what my interpretation is of this is the Berrics, because they're going full sellout mode, they are doing what Braille does. And what Braille does is they just sell skateboards. Their team isn't a traditional skateboard team. They don't conduct their business the way a traditional skateboarding company conducts their business. Their team is just dudes that skate. They don't put out video parts. They don't do ads in magazines. They don't do any of that. They operate independent from the skateboarding ecosystem. Skate shops don't carry Braille. None that I've ever been to, anyway. They just do their own thing, And I think that that's what the Berrics is doing. I mean, this guy wasn't he wasn't on my radar, and suddenly he turns pro. I was talking to somebody in Twitch earlier, and they referred to him as an industry plant. And I would say that's exactly what Scapegoat is. I'm not saying he's not good, I'm not saying any of that. But he's completely bypassed the traditional route that you have to take to become a professional skateboarder. The vast majority of professional skateboarders, legitimate professional skateboarders, had to pay their dues. They had to do what other guys have done before them. This is a shortcut, and it's not only a shortcut in the route that you take to get there, but I'll show you what else. I mean, this website is great. This website is chock full of memes. Okay, so let's read this. These boards are hand screened with real ink rather than film transfers the way that most modern decks are done. So they're already putting down other companies. For this deck, the color on Baby Goat's tee sets onto the wood differently. We did this by omitting the white passive ink that previously sat beneath the fluorescent yellow. I mean, who gives a shit? Also, for those of you who get the first edition board, you'll find a little number 1 on it. This number is used to denote that it was in fact the first edition of Leandre's Pro model, and there will never be another one like it. The way that they talk about this guy is as if he's had an epic skateboarding career. Does he even have a video part out? Let's see. Is this a video part? No, this is just a montage. So, this, I haven't, if there is a video part, I haven't found it. So this guy, he doesn't even have a video part out, and they're already talking about his career and the trajectory of his career. Like, this shit is so self-congratulatory. I mean, he's turned pro without a video part. He just fast-forwarded, and he is an industry plant. That's what this is. And you know what's crazier than that is they're selling signed decks of this guy. Nobody but little kids are buying these who don't understand, like, what the fuck is going on. Why would anybody want the signature of a person who hasn't established themselves in the profession that they associate themselves with? It makes no sense. Okay, let's see. These new boards have a secret number 2 somewhere on them so that in future collectors, who's collecting these? Who is collecting these? It's so presumptuous to think that people will just be collecting these because you charge $100 for a skateboard deck, and that makes you think that that makes people think it has value because it has a meaningless signature of a guy who has yet to accomplish anything in skateboarding. It's absurd. It's just totally tone deaf. Like, talk about counting your chickens before they hatch, or counting your eggs before they hatch. Whatever the fucking term is, this is exactly that. Like, at least put out a video part before you start selling boards like this. I mean, unless that's never going to happen, and this guy's career is going to be Berrics 5-minute Berrics videos, how to 10 add a trick lines. Where the hell did this guy come from? If that's going to be this dude's career, I mean, nobody will be collecting these. For skateboarding stuff to be collectible, it has to have an impact on has to have an impact on skateboarding's culture. Like, there has to be a reason for it to be collectible. Being in Berrics videos is far from a big enough accomplishment for your stuff to be collectible. Anyway, apart from that, because we have chosen not to sell bright at Zoomies so that it benefits the skater instead of the people at the top. In fact, all of our products will be like this. Very small runs with a lot of care and with you in mind. This model could alter the way pro skaters are treated forever. Okay, look at this sentence. A lot of care and with you in mind. Okay, so basically this whole thing is about bragging about the extremely high quality of their items. Let's scroll up. Check this out, okay? I encourage you to go look at this close up on the website for yourself. I don't know if you see massive, like, I don't know what that is exactly, like where the graphic hasn't printed properly, or if those are scrapes. More marks and stuff. There's black spots all over the graphic. There's more marks over here. I mean, this thing looks like it was dropped in water. Like, and what's crazy about this, so you can see over here, here's a really good photo. What is this? They're bragging about their quality, and this is the product that they're giving you. I've skated a lot of skateboards. Every board, the bottom ply of the board looks like a piece of plastic, like this. You can see all that indentation. That's low quality wood, guaranteed. And they're bragging about it. I know these boards are ass. I know it. And the graphics are ass too. Like, this looks like some Microsoft Paint shit. Like, this is the best that the Berrics could do. Look at these. These are like they're cheap boards too. The ones with what would resemble an actual graphic are $70. It's a fucking ripoff. I mean, honestly go to the website, check it out. And this is important. These ones that they chose to photograph, these are the best looking ones in the batch. They have to be. There's no way they're choosing the worst looking ones. If the ones they chose to photograph look like this, imagine what the ones that people are actually getting will look like. I mean, there's a dent in it. These look like, I mean, it's plywood. These look like they fell out of the back of the shipping truck. That's how bad these look. They look damaged. I mean, just look at it for yourself. Like, I don't need to say anything else about the situation. It's just, this whole thing is such a farce. It's such a self-congratulatory farce. I would rather buy boards from Zoomies than this. At least Zoomies knows what it is. These people are delusional. I mean, what a shit logo. And Bright? I mean, could you be any more obvious that you're copying Braille's business model? You're Bright? Braille? Like, do you need to spell it out for us? Why didn't you just respell Braille? Like, it's really the same. It's it's so bad. And this is subjective, but who is paying money for these? If you look at what skateboarders want, it's less logos. I mean, the primary problem that people have with Cariuma shoes, from what I've heard from people talking on YouTube and shit, is that the logo is too fucking big. If you want to gain an idea, whoops, of what skaters want, all this shit is sold out, right? I mean, I know it's limited runs, but this is the kind of thing that, skateboarders want. I'm not talking about little kids. I mean, this is nice stuff, right? Where's the big fat logo on the side? It's not this and this. There's such a huge divide between, like, it just shows how large the skateboard industry has become, where this exists at the same time as this. Like, they're for completely different markets. Comparing this to this, I mean, what a crock of shit. This is worse than Braille and Revive and shit. This is worse than that. I'd rather skate a Revive board than one of these. Honestly. There's not really much that's cool about free advertisement for another company. I mean, your logo should be complementary to your shoe, not dominate it. This dominates the shoe. It's not complementary. Look at this color scheme. There's green, black, and white. Like, is this a shoe that a supervillain is supposed to wear in a Batman movie? I just wanted to, like, sort of go over my thoughts on this situation and really, like, you guys don't have to, none of you have to agree with me. I mean, this is just what I think about this situation. And the reason I'm starting videos like this is I think that there is a real lack of a voice in skateboarding. Like, I mean, if you look at the 9 Club, for example, everything's strictly positive. Nobody talks about, in skateboarding, nobody really talks about any of the bullshit that's happening. Like, not that I can find anyway. Nobody does just, like, commentary style videos on skateboarding like they do for everything else. And this is something that I feel like is worth covering. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video.